I am out in the garden nursery this morning with Carol. And Carol, we're actually out in the display garden. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And really, you can stroll around here and see, big size plants, and then go through the nursery and see the little ones to take home. It's really something to see what it'll do in the garden.
Exactly. That's why we have the display garden.
And the roses are beautiful, alliums, columbine. It's really a nice time to come and see everything. But we're going to talk today about some of the plants. I think, Carol, you're so animated when you talk about them. It's like the drama queens. So what is a drama queen plant?
To me, the drama queens are a combination of bold foliage and ones that sometimes are a little weather sensitive. On a hot day, they say, oh my gosh, it's too hot, I need to be in the shade. And as soon as it cools down, they pop back up and they're fine.
And I think we talk about drought tolerant plants a lot, but sometimes you have that neighbor that waters too much and it comes on your property, or you have a sprinkler that's on a lot and you have a wet area, or you have your own spring that's kind of a seasonal spring. So really, these are the plants for that.
They absolutely are. So here we have a whole bunch of ligularias. I have probably 8 varieties.
Cool.
I just love them. There's big ones, little ones. Most of them are summer blooming. They're just amazing foliage plants.
And so this one is called Rocket, and now they have, for smaller size gardens, we have Little Rocket.
Little Rocket. So it's about half the size. It's an amazing bloomer. They're blooming about a month and a half early, but that's
early.
okay. They normally are mid-June to into July, but beautiful little bright yellow flowers, which is also nice for a shady spot too, to have some summer color.
Definitely. And this dark foliage ligularia, so much difference between the two, but they're actually cousins.
They are. This is Britt Marie. They have a little different flower. They're gold daisies. They tend to be more moundy versus the other two are more upright. They're just wonderful dramatic plants. Britt Marie in a little more sun is much more dark color like this. In the shade, it fades out a little bit, but still has this really deep, vibrant color.
And there's one that's a kind of variegated one here. It's kind of got cream and green and burgundy. That's a gorgeous one.
Yeah,
really a lot of different textures for that one family.
There are. And then there's the other cousins of this too. They used to all be ligularias. They're now farfugiums. They tend to be a little thicker leafed. They're not quite as winter hardy. I like them as container plants. If you protect them a little bit from frost, put them, under a cover or in a lightly heated greenhouse, they'll be evergreen, and they're amazing container plants.
And then there's a variegated one too. Really a pretty shape. This kind of broad oval one. Very nice. And then I love acanthus, and I think that I love them because I've been traveling, and when you see them in the in Italy or in Spain, it's kind of fun to see them, but a really old-fashioned plant around the world.
They are, and they're wonderful. This is just a little baby one. I have some amazing, gigantic ones in my garden. It's one of my husband's favorites, so it's all over our garden, but they make that big statement, and that's why you get these drama queens, to make a statement, say, hello, come see me.
And they have a cool flower. It kind of looks like a delphinium or a foxglove.
Yes.
And that's later in the summer, too.
Yeah, it's usually midsummer.
And then what is this one? That's
so this
really
is one of
pretty.
my added to my drama queens. It doesn't have the super bold foliage that some of the other ones, but it's one that I often use as an indicator plant in a bed. This is it's an Artemisia giju. It tends to want real consistent moisture, just like everybody else, but she'll tell you when she's dry. So often, like when a bed is dry, this is the first one to wilt, get very dramatic, call your attention, you water everybody, she perks right up and it's fine.
That is good. And then, so this one, we don't recognize this too much when it has leaves, so what's that?
That's right, yeah, it's an Edgeworthia. Most people see it at the winter sales in full bloom. They have those amazing fragrant flowers, and then people don't realize what it looks like in the summer, and it's this wonderful, big, bold, tropical looking foliage. And so I thought it'd be a good one to point out, because it is still many seasons of interest, not just the flowering.
Nice. And then that gold foliage plant, that's really interesting.
That gold one, that's an Aurelia Sun King. This is a young one. It's so worth it. Takes it a few years to get size on it, but it's amazing. It'll hold this beautiful bright gold color even in full shade.
Wow, that's really a beacon then in a shady area.
Yes.
Really will brighten up that corner. And then what's next to that
the next one is a rhoom. It's a tangutium, so it's a ornamental rhubarb. And it's another one, sun to part shade, but it's also, that's again as a baby, the foliage will get 3 to 4 times bigger than that. It's very dramatic, but again, it wants that consistent moisture. And it's another nice one too, like the ligularias. It can go sun to part shade. It's pretty flexible.
Carol, I really like this one. Look at that new foliage. It's got like a bronze tone to it. So pretty.
This is a Rodgersiae. This is Hercules, so it's big and strong. The leaves will be 5-6 times bigger than what they are now. Makes this huge, beautiful mounds, big, tall, kind of a stilby-ish pink flowers in the summer. It's really a dramatic, wonderful plant that says, come look at me.
Ah, very nice. And then we have like a vine here, which you just don't think about using a vine sometimes.
Well, the reason I added this to our drama queens is that this is a hardy fuchsia. Most hardy fuchsias are upright. Well, this one wants to ramble. And I have found it's actually more than just a drama queen. It's actually a tough one. It's really amazing. I've had it in a spot in the garden that's actually pretty low water. It's done beautifully. It's not a real heavy bloomer, but it has this beautiful, big, large foliage, and I just love it. I think it's just a wonderful addition in any garden.
Really nice. Well, you know, I think we have a lot of things here to kind of consider for our garden, for that one space that might be a kind of a troublesome one. You have to come to out in the garden and maybe have some time here that you can just stroll around and enjoy this environment and this beautiful display garden. Thanks so much, Carol.
Thanks, Judy.